taking the ice as we are just about ready for hockey here on this Wednesday night. Starting lineups are being introduced right now for the Wichita Thunder. They'll line up like this for head coach Bruce Ramsey. Starting on defense, it'll be number 20, Noah Beck, that high-quality defenseman we talked about, leading the team with 24 points. His defensive partner will be number 25, Jack Barr, 6'2", 209, 7 points in 22 games. The forward line, it's the vets, number 12, Peter Bates, the captain, number 16, Kyle Krinkovic, and number 21, Jay Dickman. And in net, it's number 33, Matt Davis, with a 4-8-1-2 record, 2.59 goals against, and a .928 save percentage. On the Tahoe side, it'll be number 10, Mike O'Leary, number 38, Jordan Gustafson, and number 65, Devin Poliani as the starting forwards. And on the back end, it'll be number 47, Artur Cholach, along with number 96, Brennan Kapchek. And in net, it'll be Cameron Whitehead, 7-4-1-1, with a 2.6 goals against and a .930 save percentage. We'll take a quick step aside to hear the anthem, and then we'll be underway here from State Line. The officials for tonight, the referees, David Lilly, number 25, as well as number 26, Jamie Pavia. The linesmen are number 94, Brian Gorkoff, and number 53, Jack McQueston. We mentioned it'll be Davis against Whitehead in net tonight. Wichita will move from right to left. They'll wear their road black jerseys with black pants and black helmets. They'll have white stripes at the bottom part and on the shoulders with the San Jose Barracuda and San Jose Sharks logo, their two affiliates on either side. The Night Monsters will move from left to right, white helmets, black pants. They'll wear the white jerseys with the teal numbers and the new Lake Tahoe outline Tessie I logo on the front. Jordan Gustafson will take the draw to get us underway against Peter Bates. Face-off is dropped. Gustafson wins it, and we're underway here on a Wednesday night. That one's sent in. O'Leary wraps it in. It'll go quickly for an icing just 8 seconds into this one, as O'Leary wasn't quite touched up where he needed to be. And it'll be all the way back down, an offensive zone draw here for the Thunder. Face off to the right of Whitehead. Face off won by Tahoe. Cholach behind the net, taps it up to O'Leary. He's tied up with Dickman. It'll be Brennan Kapchek getting his first touch as he sends it up the line. Poliani tries to one-touch it in the middle for Gustafson. It's taken away by the Thunder. Jack Barr tried to get it to Bates. Lost it. Now Noah Beck. He'll play it up for Dickman. Dickman is picked off by O'Leary. O'Leary wrapping it far side for Devin Poliani, who has had a hot streak as of late. Gustafson digging, and so is Callan. Noah Beck coming away with a puck. He'll sit behind the goal line and now work his way into neutral ice. Gets around Casey Bailey, who's fresh on. Krinkovic will wrap that one around the boards. Kyle Krinkovic, we mentioned in the open. As Ryan Finnegan, the Kansas native on this Wichita Thunder roster, wraps one around. That one poked in front and taken away as Luke Adam plays it up to the red line. Touching it behind him, Kirby Proctor gets things underway. Taken away, Bailey. Touch pass, Stanek looking for the first tally of the game, but that one deflects up into the netting. And with 18:43, we get a whistle. So it'll be a near side face-off to the left of Davis, wearing those goalie pads and mask with the San Jose Sharks teal colors. Night Monsters win. Stanek comes in after it's tied up to the left wing, taken away quickly by Wichita. Here's Mikkel Stenell. Drops one low, gets it back. Stenell battling for it, is crunched up against the boards by Casey Bailey. And here's a turnaround shot for Finnegan. That one goes to the far side as Adam will try and dig it out. Kept in by the Thunder, Stenell. Far side, working into the face-off circle. Gets around Samuel Maye. Sends one out in the slot, and that one roped too high by Finnegan. Bailey tried to play that one ahead. It's intercepted. Proctor plays it up. It's Donovan Houle who's working in. Gets it to John Gormley. Gormley, near side shot blocked away by Whitehead. And in traffic, it works its way out to Tahoe. Cholach, touch pass up ahead for Kapchek, or for Derflinger rather. Derflinger and Merritt both jamming away. It's Connor Merritt who comes away with it on the far side. Left point for Cholach, touch pass immediately back, gets it to Derflinger. Pitters beneath the goal line tried to send it out in front for Merritt, who was taken down from behind. Wichita has some numbers, but they'll opt to just dump it in as they'll get a couple of guys going off for a change. Merritt again, banks that one off the boards, finds Kapchek, maneuvering around a hit from Nico Somerville for the Wichita Thunder as this one's intercepted. Taking it the other way, it was Kyle Jeffers who tried to get around Sloan Stanek but couldn't do so. Crowd trying to get their squad into it. Blake Wells plays that one up for Lyndon Alger, who's in the lineup today, but it's quickly taken away, and Jeffers will just poke that one into the zone and go off for a line change. Alger up ahead, finds Stanek. Stanek drops for Callan. Callan back over for Stanek, sending one give and go. It was knocked away by a stick of Jack Barr. Digging away is Nick Nardikia as he is able to loft that one out into the defensive zone for the Night Monsters. Lyndon Alger, first one on it. He'll drop that one back for Nate Callan, who's pickpocketed by Nardikia for a moment, but now it's worked over to Alger. Wells spins and works it up to O'Leary. He's knocked off the puck and now taken down. On his last attempt on his feet, he gets it over to Blake Wells behind the net. Anthony Collins, who we'll talk to in the intermission report, on the ice for the first time tonight. Wichita plays it up. Kyle Krinkovic, bank pass for Peter Bates. He'll wrap it around near side for Dickman. Going up against Samuel Maye. Dickman trying to find his balance, but it's taken away by the Night Monsters. Gustafson cutting in. Poliani was just off sides, and we'll get a whistle with 15:52 to go. Face off in neutral ice just outside of the Wichita zone. Face-off won by the Thunder. They'll dump it in. Cameron Whitehead out from behind the net. Maye tied up on the near side with Krenkovic. Wichita retreats back to their own zone. Nolan Neen, one of the assistant captains for the Thunder, along with Jake Wallen, gets it to his defensive partner, Kirby Proctor. Neen plays it up into neutral ice, looking for Finnegan, taken away by Maye as it went too far. Artur Cholach now. Spins one around the boards. Matt Davis stops it a little bit as Proctor banks it ahead. Poliani out to the point for Cholach. Drops it back behind him for Kapchek, who will backhand one in. It's deflected by Neen in front and works its way to O'Leary. Mike O'Leary cutting in, looking for Cholach, who was trying to go back door, but couldn't find him. Neen tied up behind the play on the far trapezoid. Squirts free to Gustafson. Kapchek. Shot one on wide, looking for a redirect, but it was deflected by Nolan Neen. Cholach up the boards, looking for Luke Adam. That one got off his stick, they were saying at first, but then it was Jack McQuestion who came in to overrule that, and we get a whistle. It'll be an icing on the Night Monsters. So with the confusion from the referee and the linesman, they'll just put it back to center ice. Casey Bailey's booted out of the draw. He'll be replaced by Luke Adam, the captain. Face-off won by the Thunder, who move right to left. Shots just 1-1 here so far, as this one worked in by Houle. Houle goes back door for Finnegan, a little too far to get a shot off. Now Stenell back to Finnegan. Finnegan on the near side half wall, drops for Stenell. Stenell shot one on, that one deflected past Whitehead, but it trickles wide. Kept in the zone by the Thunder. Now Luke Adam comes in and he'll play it out. Works it up to Stanek. Stanek far side in the face-off circle. Shot, save Davis, rebound poked loose. But Luke Adam couldn't quite redirect it on target. Stenell far side for Somerville. Somerville works in, absorbs a hit as the whistle blows with 13:58. And with that, we'll get our first media timeout of the first period. Nothing here between the Night Monsters and Thunder. Still feeling each other out here in this first meeting of the season. You're listening to Night Monsters Hockey on Mixlr and watching live on FloHockey.tv.
At GEHA, we stand behind our members because we were founded by members. So with zero shareholders to mind, we keep our members in mind by offering a health plan for every stage of life, plus hearing and fitness discounts. At GEHA, one thing is clear. Your health isn't our business. It's our purpose. That's why we've been trusted by millions of federal employees and retirees across the country since 1937. Visit GEHA.com to find your federal health plan.
It'll be a face-off just outside of the Tahoe zone as we welcome you back from the TV timeout. 13:58 to go here in the first period. Shots are 2-2 between the Night Monsters and Thunder. Face-off controlled by Tahoe as Whitehead wraps it around for LeBlanc. Olivier LeBlanc working behind the net, muscling free. It's taken away by Tahoe or by Wichita. Beck shoots one on, tipped in front, they score. Well, there's the other assistant captain, Jake Wallen, who redirected that one in front. Had a sweet little celly into the boards, and the Wichita Thunder go up 1-0 here to start this one. So Jake Wallen will get credit for the goal. That'll be his second of the year and just his third point of the season. As he's back out there and wins a faceoff after scoring a goal to put the Thunder in front. A big hit delivered by Connor Merritt in open ice. Night Monsters dump it back in. As cutting back in are the Night Monsters, it's going to be a penalty on Wichita, so right back to work. After surrendering a goal, they have a chance to get it right back. The Night Monsters are back on the power play. Their power play currently sitting at 24.7%, fourth best in the ECHL. But on the other side, the PK for the Thunder is top 10, currently at 88.5%, which is sixth best in the league. Wallen's second goal of the year assisted by Beck and Blackwell, so Noah Beck is continuing to have himself quite the start to the season as he's now got 25 points. It's Jeffers who will be in the box as this one is dumped in. Wichita getting it in deep on the kill. Now Sloan Stanek works his way in. On the near side half wall, back up to the right point for Kapchek. Across, finds Gustafson, works in, shot save by Davis. Minute 37 left on the minor penalty to Kyle Jeffers. 2 minutes for tripping will be what he serves. As Wichita collects this one, Donovan Houle will work it up to Finnegan, who dumps it in deep. Goes off for a change. Kapchek will drop it for Poliani to get this power play started. He'll get it over to Gustafson. Near side banking one down the boards beneath the goal line for Poliani. Back up top for Stanek. Works into Pitters. Pitters turns and drops on the goal line for Poliani. Far side half wall. Poliani slows and dances, looking for an outlet. Back up to the left point for Stanek. All the way across in the right face-off circle for Gustafson. Back up right point for Kapchek. Across too tall for Sloan Stanek as that one is deflected out of play off the glass. So crisis averted for Wichita's. If that one would have gone out cleanly, it's a delay of game. So it'll be an offensive zone draw for the Night Monsters to the right of Matt Davis. Face-off won by Tahoe. Bailey gets it over to the right point for Adam. Luke Adam drops it for O'Leary. Back to Adam on the half wall. Up top for Callan. One-timer, Bailey. High save by Davis. It's still loose in the crease. Digging away is Derflinger. But that one is shoved into the glove of Davis by his own defenseman, Noah Beck, to get a whistle. Just 34 seconds remain here on this power play. Face-off tied up. It goes into the corner for Wichita, who will dump it all the way down. Whitehead out to play it in front of the trapezoid. Nate Callan will survey things. And now gets it up to Mike O'Leary. Crossing the red line on the backhand. Tries to shuffle his way around Beck and get in deep against Barr. They both take a tumble as Luke Adam has it on the near side half wall. Beck tied up with Derflinger. Derflinger poke checks it free. Far side for Bailey, up top for Callan. Down low for Bailey. We're back to 5-on-5 as that shot is deflected off a stick up into the netting. We get a whistle. Tahoe put 6 shots on the board, but haven't got one past Matt Davis, the former Denver Pioneer goaltender. Face-off in the far side, Caesars Republic roulette wheel face-off circle. As that one won back by the Thunder. They'll dump it out to neutral ice. Kyle Krinkovic will be the first one on it. He has been a welcome addition to this Thunder squad, as we mentioned. And now Nolan Neem plays it up for Peter Bates, the captain. Bates works it in beneath the goal line, tried to find Dickman. Proctor will get it back to Dickman, who shuffles it behind his back to the far side, but not far enough, as Maye takes it away. Quickly intercepted by the Thunder. Neen plays it D-to-D for Proctor, who banks it far side for Dickman. Tried to split the defense and get it to Krinkovic, but they can't do so. Maye enters, drops for Poliani, who slows up and shoots one on, but it's another pad save for Davis. Dickman backhands that one out. Cholach will give it chase, but that'll go for an icing. A lot of boots and cowboy hats around the Tahoe Blue Arena tonight as we celebrate Country Night here in the building. And after the game, the Night Monsters welcome all fans down to the ice to paint the Tahoe Blue ice, which will be in use for Friday and Saturday as the Night Monsters continue this series against the Thunder for Grateful Dead weekend. Cholach wins that draw, tried to dump it for Poliani, but it's taken away. Peter Bates works into the zone against Gustafson. Gustafson does a nice job to put the body in front of him as Cholach goes far side. O'Leary backhands, finds Kapchek. Gaining the blue line is Gustafson. Drop pass, Poliani, shot on, and again deflected into the netting, and Poliani frustrated with that one as we hit a TV timeout yet again. Past the midway point here in the first period. It's the visiting Wichita Thunder leading 1-0. You're listening to Night Monsters Hockey on Mixlr and watching live on FloHockey.tv.
Go on, get a little out there into the big heart of Nevada. 60 million acres of wide-open public land for night monsters like you to explore. From sagebrush saloons to ghost towns, epic adventures are in store. Experience Nevada away from the neon lights. Take a dip in a natural hot spring where the temperature is just right. And gaze up at the darkest skies in star-studded delight. Explore the Silver State and plan your trip today at travelnevada.com. That's travelnevada.com.
Back here inside Tahoe Blue Event Center, it's an offensive zone draw for the Night Monsters yet again. Casey Bailey ties that one up, tries to work it to Stanek, but eventually it's Finnegan who dumps it out, and now here's a break for Donovan Houle. Far side faceoff circle, shoots one on. Whitehead makes the save. Follow-up as Finnegan tried to get it to Stenell in the slot. Casey Bailey gains the red. Over to the near side for Stanek. Tried to backhand that one across, but a couple of Thunder sticks got in the way of that one. Ryan Finnegan drop pass for Houle, who works in. Shot on. That one goes high and wide of the net. It'll wrap all the way around to the near side. Here's Somerville. Gets it over to Gormley. Somerville sends one through the neutral zone. It finds its way on the stick of Spencer Blackwell. That one worked all the way back down, and it won't be an icing as Wichita got a touch on it. Pitters keeps it in at the left point. Chipped ahead by Derflinger. Jake Derflinger lost it up to Kyle Jeffers. Maye plays that one up ahead, almost a high stick on Noah Beck, but gets it down in the nick of time. Jake Wallen lost it trying to bank it back, so Adam Pitters will collect for Tahoe. Jack Barr settles behind the net of Matt Davis. He'll let the troops get settled, leaves it for Nardicia. Taken away quickly, Poliani entering the zone. Cutting in, puts one on the backhand and almost got it to O'Leary on the back door to tie the game. Kyle Jeffers finds Tian Rask. First time we've called his name today. Getting it on the near side is Nardicia. Lost it for Cholach, tried to deliver a big body blow on the far side half wall, but that one taken away, and now a battle for it ensues. Poliani banks one off the short boards, tries to find O'Leary. He's right there with Nolan Neen. Tried to send it out into the slot for Gustafson, but it was too hot to handle. Alger banks one off the boards, finds Connor Merritt. Merritt on the far side, spinning around, looking for an outlet, finds Callan. Callan beneath the goal line. Works against Matt Krasa. Now Alger, left point shot on. That one goes high. Merritt couldn't get a deflection. Here's Gormley. Far side, he'll bank one in off the high boards using an elevated surface. Connor Merritt back on it, dumps it into the near side cross corner. It enters the zone. Somerville quickly on it, gets it to Gormley. Gormley gains the red and will fire one on to Whitehead, who drops it out of the trapper to keep it going with 6.5 left. Here's LeBlanc up ahead for Adam. Adam spinning against Gormley. Now Stanek. Into the slot. Bailey turnaround. That one blocked in front by Gormley, who's really all over the place here in these last few minutes. LeBlanc banks one ahead. Luke Adam. Good zone entry there. Tried to go across the slot, but it's intercepted by Mikkel Stenell. Stenell drop pass for Finnegan. Backhand shot goes just wide. I think Whitehead got a stick on it. Up ahead, Sloan Stanek sends one through. He's cut off by Noah Beck, and Davis will cover it up with 5:46 to go. And with the timeout on the ice, we'll keep it here for right now. And fans, this is a good time to remind you that tonight's action is brought to you by FloHockey TV. Have you heard? This season, FloHockey will be your home for all things hockey, including live streams of every game. Go to FloHockey.tv, FLOHockey.tv, or download the Flow Sports apps on iOS and Android, or Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, and Chromecast. We apologize for the audio issues we're currently experiencing on Mixlr. Unsure what it is really, because we've put the volume at the same spot it's been for every home game this year. We do have to cater to the FloHockey video streaming audience as well. And in our pregame test, this was the volume they could hear us at. Gustafson will take the draw on the far right face-off circle. Finnegan went a little too early. Gustafson wins cleanly up to the left point for Cholach. Finds Poliani. Here's Gustafson. Spinning and turning his way against Finnegan up to the left point for Cholach, who fires one into the head area of Noah Beck, as it'll be played back around the other way. Here's Jack Barr. Barr plays it up to Houle. Houle gains the blue, Near side, tries to drop pass for Stenell. That one will be taken the other way. Left to right come the Night Monsters. Poliani dumps it in deep. Gustafson can't get around Beck, but it's taken away momentarily off a stretch pass that went a little too far. Night Monsters tag up. Barr with the puck for the Thunder wearing their black and white. Merritt jamming away in front of the net and almost broke that one free for a goal. It'll be Alger who wraps it back in. 4:45 left in the first period. Shots are 9-6. Banked off the boards. The short side as the Night Monsters will gain possession on the back end. Barr giving hustle against Adam Pitters. That one's banked all the way out to Wallen. Looking for his second goal. He cuts in. Sharp angle shot on the backhand. And that one goes wide of the net. On the near side coming in is Jake Derflinger, who slaps one on, but it's immediately covered up by Davis. Bailey, Stanek, and Adam are the line out there. This is a line of vets for sure at this level. T and Rask plays it up ahead, finds Matt Krasa on the fourth line. That one slung on net, and covering it up for a whistle is Cameron Whitehead with 4:05 left. It's been Jake Wallen, the only goal scorer so far in the game, as that's what's given the Thunder a 1-0 lead. Face-off won by Wichita. Proctor shoots one on from the left point and an easy glove save by Whitehead. Looks like a couple of last-minute changes being made in the lines for the Night Monsters as Adam and Bailey are off, as well as Stanek, so they'll get a full forward change. Pitters is out there with Anthony Collins and Blake Wells. Four minutes even left in our opening period. Wichita wins again. Krasa curling the slot. Shot one on, he scores. Sweet shot from Matt Krasa on the sharp angle. And the Wichita Thunder double up their lead. It's 2-0. Well, not the start that Tahoe was hoping for to try and turn the page on this game here in the month of December. But nonetheless, the Thunder came to play here in this first period, and they lead by 2 now, thanks to Matt Krasa's second goal of the season. How will the Night Monsters respond? It's Dickman losing that one to Cholach, who quickly lost it to Bates. Krinkovic gets it in deep to Bates, far side. Dickman tried to send it out in front for Bates, and that would have been a momentum killer for the Night Monsters. Krinkovic drops it behind him for Nolan Neen. Back beneath the goal line, jamming away Bates and Dickman. Back for Peter Bates. Works on the backhand far side, wraps it to Dickman behind the net. Neen goes off for a change. Gormley replaces him as that one's poked down in front, and Tahoe will exit the zone. O'Leary leaves for Gustafson. Far side shot on. That one deflected up into the boards behind the net. Callan back over. It was intercepted. Wichita will re-enter the zone. Krinkovic, cycle game with Gormley. on the goal line, now works his way up the half wall. Jay Dickman tried to send it out in front, but it's taken away. And now Poliani coming ahead. Dickman joins the play without a stick. Casey Bailey looking for an outlet. Curls to the top of the point. It's loose in front. Poliani follow up and a high glove save by Davis. Gormley tried to get it out. It was kept in for a moment by Callan, as LeBlanc trips on Dickman's stick that he lost. Jack Barr has it knocked away by Stanek, who can't quite corral it on his blade. And now Stenell will come the other way. Drops that one for Donovan Houle. Sending one across. Stenell tried to pull the trigger on it but couldn't. Now Bailey drops for Stanek, who enters the zone. Crowd's starting to get antsy as he is knocked off the puck into the boards by Barr. Houle intercepts. Far side finds Finnegan. Shot. That one goes behind the netting into the boards. Tahoe sends it all the way back down, but it'll go for an icing with 1:26 left in the first period. Tahoe wins the draw, but it's tipped in by a Wichita stick before they can get it out. Pitters working against the boards. That one, Karam's free to the far side. Kapchak plays it up for Merritt, who will chip it looking for Derflinger, but it goes too far. Wallen wrapping, it's intercepted. Merritt shot one on, it's up into the netting. Less than a minute to go here in the opening frame. Face-off tied up. O'Leary banks it back behind him for Gustafson. Jordan Gustafson spinning against Wallen, trying to break free from this jam. Cowan up to the point, tipped in front by O'Leary. And now Alger works it back to O'Leary near side. Looking in the slot, that one banks off the stick of Blackwell, and it'll exit the zone. Gustafson tied up with Jeffers. Kyle Jeffers is able to play it ahead enough. Nardikia tied up with O'Leary. 20 seconds left in the opening period. Shots are 13-10 Tahoe, but Wichita leads 2-0. O'Leary off the ice, not happy with himself, as this one is in deep for Krasa, who scored the most recent goal. Back behind the net, 4 seconds left. Trying to center one out in front was Nardikia, but that one is into the glove of Whitehead. 1.3 left in this first period. The second goal, by the way, was Krasa from Nardicia, second of the year for him. As this draw will be on the near side between Bailey and Nardicia. Tahoe hoping to not give up a last-second goal here. 2-0 looks a lot better than 3-0 going into that first intermission. We'll chat with Anthony Collins during that point. We'll hear some commercial words as a shot on by Tian Rask is blocked in front. That'll end the first period. Well, Wichita came to Tahoe ready to rumble as they lead the Tahoe Night Monsters 2-0 after the first period of play. We'll take you to some commercial messages then to our interview with Anthony Collins, and then we'll take you around the ECHL with the Plays of the Week presented by Casey Ditzel, the voice of the Greensboro Gargoyles. You're listening to Night Monsters Hockey on Mixlr and watching live on FloHockey.tv.
Innovation, performance, dedication. For nearly 80 years, thermal technology has been the leader in high-temperature furnaces and hot press sintering systems built right here in the USA. Our cutting-edge DCS and hot press technology powers industries from semiconductors to aerospace, medical, and top research labs. We're proud to be the only U.S. OEM for SPS and DCS systems, delivering unmatched precision and providing support for up to 20 years, twice the industry standard. Built with precision, engineered for excellence, thermal technology, the high temperature experts. Fans, Lake Tahoe's South Shore isn't just a destination. It's a jaw-dropping, mind-blowing, awe-inducing experience. It leaves you happier, less stressed, and more connected to the world around you. This place is all sorts of awe and then some. And with the rules to Lake by, you can help keep it that way. Just 5 simple rules to help keep Tahoe beautiful, clean, and safe for generations to come. It's connecting with nature and protecting it at the same time. Learn how you can help it. Visit laketahoe.com/RTLB. That's visitLakeTahoe.com/RTLB.
If you're injured in an accident, here are the things that matter. Who you hire to represent you matters.
Where they live may seem like it doesn't matter. It matters.
The Richard Harris Law Firm employs over 150 local people.
Trabajamos aquí.
We live right here. We know Nevada. We know the courts. And we know how to win.
If you're injured in an accident, who you hire to represent you matters. The Richard Harris Law Firm, 222-2222.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; AthleticNet, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to FloHockey.tv.
Go on. Get a little out there. Into the big heart of Nevada. 60 million acres of wide open public land for night monsters like you to explore. From sagebrush saloons to ghost towns, epic adventures are in store. Experience Nevada away from the neon lights. Take a dip in a natural hot spring where the temperature is just right. And gaze up at the darkest skies in star-studded delight. Explore the Silver State and plan your trip. Welcome back to our intermission interview. We're joined alongside Night Monsters assistant captain Anthony Collins. And Anthony, after that road trip to Tulsa last weekend on Sunday, despite the 3-2 loss, you got your first goal of the season, and it was a beauty off a one-time pass from Blake Wells. How did it feel to get on the score sheet after, like you said in our Bally's pregame show, being snake-bitten a couple times in the Rapid City series?
Yeah, it was a really big relief. Like I said, and like you said, I've kind of been snake-bitten. I've hit a couple crossbars now, a couple going back to when we were in Rapid City, shooting it through the goalie, landing on the goal line, a couple that had just kind of not got across that finish line for me. So that was great to get one. Obviously, like I said, it's not my number priority job to score goals, but anytime I can help the fellas up and add a little offense here or there, obviously glad to do it.
The Wichita Thunder are the opponent for this 3-game set, and you guys built a little bit of a rivalry towards the end of the season last year. They got you for the final 3 games of the regular season to give themselves home ice advantage, but you got them right back in that playoff series. You got them in a 4-0 sweep. What's the extra motivation? Is there any extra motivation? Is there any extra juice in the locker room?
For sure. I think, with the way things are going right now, we want to turn it around tonight, get back in the win column, and obviously on their side of the room, I'm sure that they're not too thrilled last year that we swept them 4-0 in the playoffs and went into their season. So we got to be ready because we know that they're going to come, and we need to be at our game. When we're at our game, no one can beat us. We feel like we're one of the top teams in the league when we play the right way, and that's what we're going to plan to do tonight.
Speaking of sort of the stretch here in December, we saw in October and November you guys were pretty constant standards at the top of the Mountain Division. You guys started off that way in the month of December. What are you guys looking for to switch momentum? You've still got 6 games to turn it around and not much ground to make up.
For sure. In a 72-game season, there's going to be highs and lows, and I think like right now, as you would say, you call it. I think shots and plays that maybe we're dropping last month aren't going our way right now. I said, but the only way that we're going to get out of it is just hard work. We're going to hit the nail on the head and be ready to go and start with this game tonight.
Being one of the well-respected veterans in this league, we saw over the weekend up in the Northeast and Adirondack that Justin Taylor passed Michael Bellick for the all-time ECHL games played record. Have you ever had a chance to line up on the same team with Justin or play against Justin? And what you know about his character say about his commitment to the game and the consistency with which he's played it throughout his career?
Absolutely. Yeah, I played with him for 2 years in Kalamazoo, so phenomenal guy, loves the game, unbelievable passion for the game, and obviously that's a testament to his games played record. I just don't know if anyone will ever beat that going forward, but absolutely great teammate, great player. Wish him nothing but the best, obviously, because we don't see him this year. So I wish Tails all the best out in Adirondack this year, and keep on trucking.
Final question, we asked it to you on our Bally's pregame show, but just for the fans who weren't in the building, with it being country night here on this Wednesday, you told me you were a guy who listens to a lot of country music. Who are some of those top artists on your playlist?
Yeah, I like Zach Top right now. I like some of the retros like Jake Owen, Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan, some of the old guys like that that I grew up on. But definitely, I'm a big country guy, so let's have fun country night tonight.
That was Assistant Captain Anthony Collins joining us with our intermission report. Continued action of this Wednesday night clash continues after this.
From across America's premier AA hockey league, this is the ECHL Plays of the Week.
High slot, slap shot, off the glove, and now for the net, he scores! Shot score! He scored! It's rewrite the record books. A hat trick, skates it over the line, digs, shoots, scores! In the slot, shot, save, game is over.
Hockey fans, welcome back to another edition of ECHL Plays of the Week. I'm Casey Ditzel, your voice of the Greensboro Gargoyles. Savannah's power play was clicking on Friday evening against the Jacksonville Icemen, and it started with forward Ryan Sullivan.
Right side, takes another return feed. Eamon Powell looking for a chance, doesn't have one. To the bumper position, Sullivan scores! Sullivan gets on the board first. Good tap passing. Sullivan 1 times at home. Savannah takes a 1-0 lead.
The Ghost Pirates would go on to beat the Icemen 3-2. That was Isaac Basinger on the Savannah Ghost Pirates broadcast network. Isaac Walters scored 4 goals and 1 assist in Atlanta's 3-game slate in Utah, as the Gladiators took 2 out of 3 matchups versus the Grizzlies on the road.
Isaac Walters surges up ice. Walter fires and scores! Isaac Walters done it again! Goals in 3 straight games! And Atlanta has a 1-0 lead.
That call was from Guy Carenza on the Atlanta Gladiators broadcast network. The Heartlanders picked up a Wednesday OT win against the Kansas City Mavericks, thanks to a career-high performance from forward Elliot Denoyer.
Randall forced to change. 1 minute to go in OT. Denoyer shoots. He scores. It's a 5-point night for Denoyer. 2 plus 3. And Iowa wins 5-4. With a minute to go in overtime.
What an absolute rush by Denoyer, and holy cow, if he had another monkey to throw off his back, he'd throw it right there. A 5-point night, like you said, David. He comes up the right side, absolutely flying, undresses his man, goes right under the stick and flicks it home right through the 5-hole of LaFontaine. Of course,
Right after he put in the OT winner, Denoyer earned his 2nd recall of the season to the Iowa Wild. David Fine and Sam Kaser on the call in the Heartland. Last Sunday, the Tahoe Night Monsters traveled to the BOK Center in Tulsa for their final game of the season against the Tulsa Oilers. After splitting the first 2 of 3 games this series, the Night Monsters got on the board first in the rubber match, thanks to their enforcer, the king of the coast, Anthony Collins, who put in his versatility on full display.
Kapchek will play it D to D. Up for Blake Wells. Connor Merritt trips over the blue line just a moment after he's back in the lineup due to the absence of Swick. Blake Wells intercepts. Far side, one-time shot. Scores! And look at that. He can do it all. Throwing some fists and now scoring a goal. It's Anthony Collins. And it's 1-0 Tahoe.
That was Collins' first goal of the season. In his 634-game ECHL career, Collins now has 38 goals and 101 points. Tahoe would end coming up short in that game 3-2 and is back home this week to take on the Wichita Thunder. That was Brennan Paul on the call for the Night Monsters broadcast network. The Florida Everblades have reeled off 7 consecutive wins and points in 11 straight games after earning a pair of overtime wins over Orlando last week. On Saturday, Everblades defenseman Gianfranco Casero scored his 2nd overtime goal of the season in Florida's 1-0 victory.
Casero passes on that left wing side. Everblades control it. Casero scores! An overtime game winner! Tuck that one under the Christmas tree. The Everblades with another win.
That was Mike Kelly with the call on the Florida Everblades broadcast network. The Orlando Solar Bears took 2 of a possible 6 points this week as the Solar Bears completed 6 road games in 9 days. On Friday night, the Solar Bears became the last team in the ECHL to appear in an overtime game, thanks to a third-period game-tying goal from Spencer Kirsten.
Side for Newkirk. Needham still without a stick. Logan Brent with it. Got it across. Kirsten holds, shoots, scores! Kirsten ties it up on a power play goal at 5:31 of the third. It's 2-2.
Kirsten's goal and assist output was his 9th multi-point game of the season. That was Joey Bottino on the Orlando Solar Bears Hockey Network. The Adirondack Thunder took down the league-leading Wheeling Nailers on Saturday night in Glens Falls. The banged-up Thunder needed help and called in Shane Harper, who was managing storage units and had not played a game in over a year. Well, he ended up scoring the game-winning goal.
Great hockey against the best team in the ECHL right now.
Tough one last night. Now Harper, breakaway. He's in. He scores! From storage unit owner to goal scorer, it's Shane Harper and a 2-1 lead, and the roof just came off Harding Mazzotti Arena. That was Rob Lapolis on Hits 95.9 and the Thunder Broadcast Network. Wichita hosted Idaho this past weekend in the first meeting of the season between the two teams. The Thunder trailed early in the third period, but forced overtime just 2:30 into the frame. In the extra period, Wichita had a carryover power play and took advantage, winning the game on a goal from Kyle Krinkovic. Here's the goal call from Jason Males on the Wichita Radio Network.
It's a 4-on-3 here, 6:10 to go in overtime. Minute remaining on the power play. Krinkovic over to Dickman at the far face-off dot. And now they'll weave at the top of the blue line. Here's Dickman, has some room. Dickman, far circle, Krinkovic, he scores! Overtime winner, Kyle Krinkovic! Thunder take it 3-2. What a power play goal here in the extra session.
Krinkovic has been on a tear as of late, recording at least 2 points in 6 of his last 8 games. The Greensboro Gargoyles traveled for a 1-game weekend slate to Greenville against the Swamp Rabbits on their teddy bear toss night. Artie Borshov was in the box and stepped out to find a pass from Kenny Johnson, who picked up his first point as a Gargoyle. Borshov on the breakaway netted his second point in 2 consecutive weekends after picking up his first career goal the week before.
Iro blew a tire, though, and numbers coming. Dante Sheriff drops off his shot. Big save by Ajayev, and cleared out for a rush. Out of the box is Borshov. He's got a breakaway. Scores! Artie Borshov, who had his first career goal last weekend in Wheeling, kicks off the scoring and hushes the crowd.
That was my call on WCOG in the Carolina Hurricanes app. The Gargoyles return home now for an 8-game homestand after being on the road for the last 3 weeks. That does it for this edition of the ECHL Plays of the Week. I'm Casey Ditzel, the voice of the Greensboro Gargoyles, hoping that you have an excellent holidays. And thank you for tuning in. Back to your game now.
Back here inside Tahoe Blue Event Center, it wasn't exactly the picturesque start that the Night Monsters would have hoped for, as Wichita will enter the second 20 minutes up 2-0 over Tahoe, as Night Monsters are looking to get back on the winning side of things. We thank you for sticking with us tonight. Brendan Paul, your voice of the Night Monsters. For those of you listening on Mixlr, we hope we can fix any audio issues that we've been having tonight. This is the first time it's happened all season long, so we do apologize for that. But the faceoff is won by Wichita and dumped back into the zone immediately. Gustafson turns it over. Here's Krinkovic. Left point. Over to the right point for Beck. Beck works his way in beneath the goal line. Drops it for Bates. Bates right out on the doorstep, was trying to find Dickman. A backdoor punch for Krinkovic missed the mark. Back behind the goal line, Krinkovic tied up with Kapchek. Now Dickman comes in to help out, but Artur Cholach is the one who comes away with it. Kapchek boots it back, trying to intercept Dickman. Near side for Krinkovic, and he lost that one with his stick, as Mike O'Leary's going to dump this one back in. Here's Barr. Barr plays it over for Houle. Houle to Proctor into the zone. Working on the far side. Chipping it sharp angle. They score. How in the world did that even find a sliver of daylight anywhere through Cameron Whitehead? He had it sealed off pretty well, but nonetheless, it's in the back of the net, and Wichita leads 3-0. This is a shocker, to say the least. Night Monsters in desperate need of a response here as they trail 3-0. Casey Bailey gives it over to Adam on the near side, working it up and through. Bailey, unassisted goal for Proctor as that one shot on and that one deflected and saved by Davis. In the Mountain Division, the only other games in action tonight, the Allen Americans defeat the Tulsa Oilers 5-2 on home ice. With 20 minutes left in Boise, it's the Idaho Steelheads up on the Rapid City Rush 4-1. And that's an Idaho team that's looking to continue to stretch out their lead for first place in the Mountain Division. Face-off won by the Night Monsters. It pops up into the air. Minute and a half gone. Alger shot one on. That one's saved by Davis. Rebound kicked free. And Mikkel Stenell will cover it for Wichita. Out to the blue line. Stanek turning, looking for a receiver in Bailey. Couldn't find him. That one intercepted by Houle. Up to Finnegan. Ryan Finnegan drop pass for Gormley. Gormley shot one on. Whitehead makes the save. Maye works it out of the defensive zone and gains the blue line in the attacking third. He turns it over to Houle, who then turns it over and turn to Derflinger. Olivier LeBlanc now with it, works it up the boards. It's cut off. And now here's a chance for the Night Monsters. Merritt tried to go back door for Pitters, but couldn't find him. Pitters digging away, so is Derflinger with Gormley and Somerville. It's Jake Wallen who comes out with the puck. Spencer Blackwell enters the zone, slows up, looks for an outlet, drops between his legs. Jake Wallen finds Jeffers. Jeffers sends one in front. That one knocked down, kept in by Wallen. Blackwell with a big hit against the boards. LeBlanc taken down. We get a whistle, and now Maye's going to step in. And here we go. Blackwell and Maye hammering away right in the slot. Gloves flying. And Maye with a big takedown. Samuel Maye stepping in for Olivier LeBlanc after he was absolutely bombarded into the boards. And those two will each go have a seat for 5. Well, that's one way to spark your team down 3-0. Samuel Maye stepping in for Olivier LeBlanc, who was wincing a little bit as he got up, and then it was Spencer Blackwell on the other end for Wichita, who got tied up there. Well, hopefully nothing bad emerges out of that hit on LeBlanc. 17:01 left in the second. Shots are 15-13 in favor of Tahoe, but it is a 3-0 Wichita Thunder lead. Wishing we had another replay on that last Wichita goal scored by Kirby Proctor. There was no room on the far side post. Cameron Whitehead doing what every goalie is trained to do and cutting off that angle, but it somehow squeaked in. Still waiting to hear confirmation, but it looks like it's going to be another Tahoe power play. There was an arm up before on the hit. So the two linesmen having a chat. David Lilly in the mix as well. So Mikkel Stenell will join Blackwell in the box. It will indeed be a 2-minute man advantage for Tahoe. They're 0 for 1 tonight. After Jeffers had the tripping minor in the first. They would love to cash in here. Face-off one, out to Adam at the point, blocked in front by Neen. He's taken down, no call. Dropping back up to the point for Callan. Back up to Bailey. Right up to the point, Callan shot one on. Davis made the initial save. That one squirts free, and now it's covered up as Matt Davis, way out of the crease, was able to get on it. So it was Blackwell who got an additional 2-minute penalty on the hit. So Stenell will serve it. And that's how we've arrived at this 5-on-4. Just about ready for another draw here. .46 left in the second period. It'll be to the left of Davis, who has been perfect so far. Despite his record this year, has put up quite the save percentage, up at .928. As Bailey on the far side half wall. Dangles, gets it up to Adam. D to D for Callan. Back down low for Adam. Sending it into the middle for Derflinger, but that one sticked away and out to neutral ice. Crowd trying to re-energize the home side. O'Leary up top. Callan gets it over Bailey. One-time blast. That one was blocked in front. Wichita Thunder bench responding with some stick taps. And now here comes Jay Dickman. He's got Peter Bates. Dickman slows up. Turnaround shot. That one blocked. Dickman almost had the follow, but instead it will retreat all the way out to center ice. That one is in the back of the net as, my goodness, the Wichita Thunder have come out on a mission. That's a shorty for Donovan Houle. And it is 4-0. Wow. That one kind of developed quickly there. It was Blackwell 2 for boarding, and then the Fighting Majors. So Donovan Houle with his 8th of the year, assisted by Finnegan. As Kapchak has it at the point. Gets it down to Stanek. Across, trying to feed. It's kept in by Gustafson. He pops a tire, and now here comes Wichita the other way. Houle looking for another one. Has a break. Shot one on, and Whitehead made a big save. Houle was looking for a double dip, but Whitehead denied him on that try. 9 seconds left on the Tahoe power play. Now it's in the defensive zone for the Tahoe Night Monsters to deal with here as they collect off the draw. Callan goes D to D for Alger. Stenell standing in the box, ready to get out. Alger wraps it beneath the goal line, and Wichita's back to full strength. They get a shorty while they're out there. That one shot on, and another save by Davis with 14:53 to go. Well, Night Monsters just looking to get on the board, but they haven't done so. Matt Davis 16 for 16 in the save department. They announced in the building it was Gormley who got the goal, but it looked like Houle. They give it to Houle, assisted by Finnegan right now, as a shot on is deflected in front. Wichita plays it up. Stenell can't quite jam it out. Callan works in against Barr, shot one on sharp angle, save made by Davis. And here comes Stenell. He's got Houle on the near side. Stenell slows in the slot, shot blocked in front by Alger. That one chipped down into neutral ice. Anthony Collins coming the other way. Goes into the slot. Bailey shot, save. Davis rebound is loose. Digging away is Bailey again, but it exits the zone. It'll go for an icing with 14:14 left. Well, a reminder, fans, that Night Monsters are back in action against the Thunder Friday and Saturday for Grateful Dead weekend here at Tahoe Blue. Be sure to bring your tie-dye and come on out to the game as the Night Monsters look to add to the win column. That one in front. LeBlanc's shot was deflected in traffic. Now O'Leary, backhand pass to Bailey. Back up top, LeBlanc. Rims it beneath the goal line. O'Leary finds Adam. Luke Adam sends one on. That was gathered with a high stick by Mike O'Leary, so they're going to blow it dead. And we get a whistle with 13:49 left. It is all Wichita here in the second. You're listening to Night Monsters Hockey on Mixler and watching live on FloHockey.tv.
Go on. Get a little out there into the big heart of Nevada. 60 million acres of wide open public land for night monsters like you to explore. From sagebrush saloons to ghost towns, epic adventures are in store. Experience Nevada away from the neon lights. Take a dip in a natural hot spring where the temperature is just right. And gaze up at the darkest skies in star-studded delight. Explore the Silver State and plan your trip today at travelnevada.com. That's travelnevada.com.
Four 4-0 Wichita here in the second period with 13:49 left in the game. Here on this country night with post-game Paint the Ice. Brendan Paul, your voice of the Night Monsters, taking you through this one here on FloHockey.tv. And Mixler, once we got it back up and running. Wichita wins the draw beneath their own goal line. Kirby Proctor, who's got a goal tonight, spins away, gets it up to Neen. Neen will play it to Dickman. Dickman, the veteran forward, hustling to play that one ahead, but it's intercepted by the Night Monsters. Poliani trying to muscle free from about 3 black jerseys in the mix, but it'll be played all the way back down for another icing. So it'll be a face-off to the left of Davis. Matt Davis, again, we mentioned, played his collegiate hockey at the University of Denver. Played 4 years there. Won a national championship. Actually won 2. His freshman year and then his junior year. As the faceoff is won by the Night Monsters. They'll dump it in beneath the goal line. Gustafson's cut off by Peter Bates. Up ahead for Krinkovic. Far side for Bates. Bates shot one on, that one wide of the net of Whitehead. Dickman beneath the goal line for Bates. Callan gives chase. He gets outside positioning for the puck. Gustafson digging away. He's got it. Callan muscling that one free. Now Alger behind the net. He'll try and play it out. Dickman at the blue line doing a nice job to try and keep it in front of the Wichita bench. He can't do so for long as Gustafson intercepts. Far side, Stanek. Stanek curls. Top of the slot, shot on, save again by Davis. Behind the net, Gormley with possession. Merritt on a turnover, a shot right into the breadbasket of Matt Davis. He'll get a shove from Gormley, and that'll be that. With 12:21 to go in the second, it's still 4-0 Thunder. Fans once again will hear from Anthony Collins. If you missed it first go around with the technical difficulties we had, we'll play it again. And the ECHL plays the week. Other scores around the ECHL. In overtime, the Reading Royals beat the Adirondack Thunder 2-1. The Jacksonville Icemen beat the Orlando Solar Bears 3-2 in a shootout. And the Savannah Ghost Pirates scored 2 in the final 2 minutes to beat the Greensboro Gargoyles on the road 3-2. Wichita exits the zone, but it's blocked off the skate of Derflinger. Played back in deep. Gormley behind the net avoids a big hit from Connor Merritt. Out of the zone, Derflinger drop pass for Kapchek. Here's LeBlanc. LeBlanc absorbs a hit from Jeffers. Davis wraps this one far side with the backhand. Merritt, near side corner. Up top, Pitters delivers a shove as Derflinger's got it. Banks it far side, too far for Nate Callan. Pitters has it on the near side half wall, working his way against Gormley. Somerville tied up alongside Luke Adam. Adam had possession for a moment, but coming in and getting that one out was Jake Wallen. Cholach is Stenell taken down in open ice by Nate Callan. Tahoe too far there as Beck wraps it around. O'Leary curling the point. Finds Kapchek. Back up for Adam. Adam looking for an entryway. Shot one in traffic. That one goes wide. Kapchek behind the net for O'Leary. Finds Alger. Up top, that one deflected and heads up. That one didn't even hit the net as it goes into section 115 with 10:41 to go in the second. Also in the league tonight, the Worcester Railers at home beat the Norfolk Admirals 6-2. Another overtime game, the Greenville Swamp Rabbits in an East-West showdown take down the Cincinnati Cyclones at home 4-3. In the Central, it's the Indy Fuel over the Iowa Heartlanders 4-2, and the Fort Wayne Comets on the road over the Bloomington Bison 4-3. We mentioned Allen beats Tulsa 5-2, and with 8 minutes left in the third, Idaho up big over Rapid City. They lead 5-1. Face-off won by Tahoe. Alger back at the point, drops it for O'Leary. He'll spin around looking for an outlet. He's taken down. That one will be beneath the goal line. Bailey back up to the right point, finds Callan. Looking for a lane, shot one wide as Wichita gets possession. Trying to go cross corner, but it's gloved down by Callan. Callan will take it into the zone, going 1-on-3 for a moment there. Thunder try to exit the zone. They can't. Good keep by Alger at the point. Bailey drops it low for O'Leary. Back up top, Maye. Wrist shot on. That one screwballs wide. Maye digs and gets it back again. Derflinger tried to keep it in but can't do so. Here comes Krasa. Matt Krasa into the far cross corner. Gets it in deep. Couldn't quite get his stick to backhand that puck, but it's kept in at the point by Proctor. Dumps for Finnegan. Finnegan spins near side, was tripped up in his own spinorama as he tried to get around Maillet. Maillet back over for LeBlanc, who banks it high off the boards. Collins gloves it down, back behind for Maillet. Turnover in loose. Here's Proctor. High slot, shot blocked in front. Good job by Jake Derflinger. Blake Wells, far side, finds Anthony Collins. Wraps one back behind for Matt Davis. He'll leave it for Nolan Neen. Gustafson tried to pass one to Stanek beneath the goal line, but it's taken away by Wichita, and they'll play it out to neutral ice. Thunder this time do clear the zone as 8.5 minutes remain in a 4-0 lead for the visitors. Stanek trying to cut through, couldn't quite find a lane. Jordan Gustafson down in the far side trapezoid. Gets it to Stanek, who curls up top. Shot on, that one a standing blocker save for Davis. Gustafson on the half wall. Tried to find Cholach, but it's taken away, and Stenell will just backhand it down beneath the goal line to go off for a change as Kapchek collects. He'll bank it up ahead, past the red line for Devin Poliani. Tried to play it ahead for Stanek, but he lost it. Callan will drop to Kapchek as Night Monsters retreat in their own zone. Gustafson up ahead, tried to find Stanek on a break, but a good stick deflection there by the Thunder. Peter Bates almost had a breakaway, but a good stick by Brennan Kapchek. Callan tied up against Krenkovic. Kyle Krenkovic at 5'7", 180. As Pitters comes in, a shot high, chest save by Davis. Alger at the right point. Shoots one through traffic. That one caroms into the far side corner. Alger again. Shot one on. Derflinger got a stick tip on it, but getting more on it was Somerville. Back behind the net. Dickman plays it up ahead all the way down. They get a touch on it. Wichita did not, so it'll be an icing with 7:08 left in this second period. Fans, don't forget about Grateful Dead Night coming up at Tahoe Blue Event Center. Not tomorrow, Friday and Saturday night. Puck drops at 7 p.m. They'll be facing these same Wichita Thunder and wearing specialty tie-dye Grateful Dead themed jerseys. Face-off one by O'Leary as that one was shot from the left point and hit O'Leary right in the pelvic area as this one is dumped into the far side half wall. LeBlanc banks that one for Adam. It finds Maillet up top. He shot one on, and it was pinballed about 3 different directions. O'Leary turns it over. Bailey back to O'Leary. Shot with Davis sprawling. It cannot find the back of the net. Boy, Tahoe has not had any puck luck on their side since the month of November. Whitehead plays that one out for Maillet. Looking for a receiver. Merritt taps it ahead to avoid the icing. And with that, 6:21 remains in the second period. This looks like they did at least call something that sends the ice crew off. And now they're going to send both teams to the benches. So we'll hit a commercial break and we'll be back. You're listening to Night Monsters Hockey on Mixlr and watching live on FloHockey.tv.
If you're injured in an accident, here are the things that matter. Who you hire to represent you matters.
Where they live may seem like it doesn't matter, it matters.
The Richard Harris Law Firm employs over 150 local people.
Trabajamos aquí.
We live right here. We know Nevada. We know the courts. And we know how to win.
If you're injured in an accident, who you hire to represent
Davis Law Firm, 222-2222.
We're back after the TV timeout. It's 4-0 Wichita here in the second period. But with this Tahoe team, they can get going. If they can break through here in the second, they're more than capable of scoring 3+ in a frame. We'll see what the last 6:21 of period number 2 has to say. Blake Wells will take the draw against Jake Wallen. Wallen wins up to the right point. Noah Beck shot on save. Whitehead, a scramble for it in the crease. Wallen back out to the point for Beck. Tried to feed it into the slot, but it's taken away. Merritt pinned up against the boards by a kneeling Noah Beck. Now Wells sends one on. That one deflected by Davis. As Beck works it ahead, chips it in. Alger gloves it down, but Blackwell has it, shoots it on after the whistle, and he's going to get a response as Cowan comes in and gives him a shove. Now Alger and Jeffers tied up on the near half wall. These two are tussling up against the boards. Sticks vertical in the air. As Jamie Pavia and Jack McQuestion will come in and separate those two. They're still having some words back and forth, and now looks like it'll just be some trash talk. Alger maybe letting frustration get the better of him just a little bit. Another quick timeout on the ice. We'll take it with him. We'll be back. 4-0 Wichita here on Mixler and FloHockey.tv.
At GEHA, we stand behind our members because we were founded by members. We're not focused on Wall Street. We're focused on Main Street. So we've built dental plans with 100% coverage for in-network preventive care, with access to a nationwide network of nearly 600,000 provider locations. GEHA is proud to offer dental plans exclusively for federal employees, federal retirees, and military retirees. Visit GEHA.com to learn more.
Back here after 2 quick TV timeouts here in State Line. Tahoe on this country night is looking to find the back of the net. Here is this barn of Night Monsters fans is waiting to explode after the first goal. Shots are 24-18 in favor of the Night Monsters, but Matt Davis in net for Wichita has done all that he can do. Pitching a shutout so far. Wichita wins that one. They'll chip it into the zone, and it's going to be a delayed offsides as it was touched up by Krasa. Night Monsters in the Mountain Division standings have a 6-point cushion on both Wichita and Rapid City, who are both in that 4 and 5 spot. Wichita gets the slide edge because they played one less game. Gustafson has the puck, tries to toe drag around a couple, but can't do so. Cholach banked it up ahead, but it was right on target for Nolan Neen. Now here comes Tian Rask, drops for Nardicia. Nardicia muscled off the puck by Cholach, up ahead Gustafson, back chip for Kapchek. Sloan Stanek with it now, works his way in. Near side, goes to the far to find Jordan Gustafson, but he can't handle it on his stick. And now here come the Wichita Thunder as Krasa was tied up. Now he looks for a receiver. Wide open down Broadway is Stenell, and Whitehead made a save. Boy, Cameron Whitehead doing everything he can to keep his team in this one. Hool, shot on, and that one right into the glove of Whitehead, who gets a nice ovation from this crowd. Reminder, if you're tuning in and in the building tonight, the Night Monsters will be hosting Ice and Ink after the game tonight. All fans in attendance, welcome to join the team down on the ice to paint an inspiring Tahoe message on the playing surface, and all of the fan-painted messages and notes will be on the ice for the games on Friday and Saturday as the Night Monsters take on the Wichita Thunder again. O'Leary wins the draw, gets it for LeBlanc, who wraps it back behind for Luke Adam. Mike O'Leary, far side, Maye and Adam both there. Maye touches it up, sharp angle, sending one in front for Bailey, but he lost that one. Now Maye, shot on, save made by Davis. Adam turns and spins. Was looking for Bailey. O'Leary turnaround shot, save Davis, rebound loose as Bailey was hammering away at it. Back up to the point, LeBlanc. Back down, finds Bailey. Bailey crunched up by Hool into the near side half wall. Wichita intercepts, but Maye gets it right back in neutral ice. Finds O'Leary far side, cutting in, drops for Bailey, shot, and another save by Matt Davis. He is putting in overtime here in this second period. .342 left in period number 2. Shots 27-21 Tahoe, but Wichita leads by 4. This will be a far side face-off. Pitters is booted out. Ev will be replaced by Connor Merritt. It's to the left of Matt Davis. Merritt wins that one up to the right point as Callan slapped one on target, but it redirected wide. Dickman battling for it, leaves it behind for Jack Barr. Barr tied up, tried to get it to Krinkovic, but he didn't get a stick on it, so that one will be all the way back down. Alger drops for Pitters. Adam Pitters maneuvering around, tries to work in deep, jamming away on the far side, scores! Jake Derflinger opens the scoring here on Country Night, and Tahoe is on the board. They trail 4-1. Relentless effort from the Night Monsters forwards, and Jake Derflinger finally pays it off. And this crowd getting excited as their squad has some life. It's 4-1. They were looking towards the direction of the review replay, but we see thumbs up across the board. That means it's going to stand. And for Jake Derflinger, it's his second of the year in game number 15. As that one's sent all the way on Davis. Davis will play it up ahead to Jeffers, who tried to get it to Blackwell, but it was intercepted. Neen behind the goal line. Shot one on and a save made by Davis. So Derflinger gets the goal, second of the year. Pitters and Alger pick up the 2 assists. And Tahoe will at least have something to go into the third period with a little bit of momentum. Country tunes flying all throughout the barn tonight. We've heard some George Strait, some Brooks and Dunn, some Chris Stapleton. A little bit of old school and new school mixed in there. Wichita takes it out of the zone, gains the red. Here's Nardicia working against Kapchek. He's hauled into the boards as Poliani tries to keep it in. Gustafson banks it out of the defensive zone for Cholach, who will wrap it all the way around to the far side. Nolan Neen to the near side, trying to exit the zone, can't do so. Stanek back chips it to Jordan Gustafson. Gustafson goes to Cholach at the left point, drops low for Stanek. Stanek was kind of hauled down there behind the net with 2 minutes left in the second. Maye shot one on, that one deflected off a skate of a black jersey. That one's played all the way down. It'll just creep wide right of Cameron Whitehead, so it goes for an icing with a minute 50 left. Reminder, fans, at intermission, we'll hear from our commercial sponsors, take you out to our intermission interview with Anthony Collins, and then we'll hear from the ECHL Plays of the Week. A couple of good ones in there, including Anthony Collins' first goal of the season in Tulsa on Sunday. Face-off tied up by Bailey. He comes out and wins that one himself. It'll exit the zone, though, and Wichita's on it. Getting on his horse is Neen. Couple of nice stick dangles, a shot on and a save made by Whitehead. We get a whistle and a penalty. It's going to be a trip. And it looks like Wichita will head to the power play for the first time tonight. Back to the box is Samuel Maye for the second time this period. He got in the fight with Spencer Blackwell, but now it's just him going to the box. He'll sit for 2, and the Thunder will finish this second period on the power play. Their unit currently sits just a hair below 19%, which is 11th best in the ECHL. The Tahoe power play at 81.6, it's 19th. Face-off far side to the right of Cameron Whitehead. Poliani out there with Callan, Stanek, and Alger shorthanded. Face-off won by Tahoe. 2 minutes for tripping for Samuel Maye as Stanek at least shovels this one to neutral ice. Stenell back into the zone. Mikkel Stenell deflected by Stanek. Alger up ahead. Poliani. Night Monsters looking for a shorty of their own. Stanek dangles in, and it's a delayed offsides. Crowd not too happy at all with that one. But nonetheless, it'll be a face-off just outside of the Wichita defensive end with a minute 15 left. Minute 39 on the penalty to Samuel Maye. Cap check, D to D for Cholach. Plays it up ahead, and that one just sent all the way down. Davis will have to worry with it as he spins it over to Beck. Beck, drop pass for Krenkovic. He'll get it over to Bates, plays it up for Dickman. Bates surveys, finds Dickman on the near half wall. Beneath the goal line, Bates back for Krenkovic up to the right point for Beck. Finds Bates again, the captain. Back up top for the team leader in points, Noah Beck. Over to Stenell, shot that one high. Dickman tried to follow up but couldn't. And Cholach whips that one all the way down the ice with 24 seconds left. Up ahead, Beck plays to Stenell. He'll slow up at the red line and go cross ice for Finnegan. He'll drop for Jay Dickman. Across for Houle, looking for his second of the night. Up ahead, one-time shot, Beck, save made by Whitehead. 3 seconds left. That one will exit the zone, and that will end our second period of play. A pair of goals for Wichita, including one shorthanded, but one by Jake Derflinger at the end of the frame to get the Night Monsters on the board, as they need 3 in a comeback effort here against Wichita to take a tie game on this Wednesday night opening game of the series. We'll be back. You're listening to Night Monsters Hockey on Mixlr and watching live on FloHockey.tv.
Innovation, performance, dedication. For nearly 80 years, Thermal Technology has been the leader in high-temperature furnaces and hot press sintering systems built right here in the USA. Our cutting-edge DCS and hot press technology powers industries from semiconductors to aerospace, medical, and top research labs. We're proud to be the only U.S. OEM for SPS and DCS systems, delivering unmatched precision and providing support for up to 20 years, twice the industry standard. Built with precision, engineered for excellence, Thermal Technology, the high-temperature experts. Fans, Lake Tahoe's South Shore isn't just a destination. It's a jaw-dropping, mind-blowing, awe-inducing experience. It leaves you happier, less stressed, and more connected to the world around you. This place is all sorts of awe and then some. And with the rules to lake by, you can help keep it that way. Just 5 simple rules to help keep Tahoe beautiful, clean, and safe for generations to come. It's connecting with nature and protecting it at the same time. Learn how you can help it. Visit laketahoe.com/RTLB. That's visit laketahoe.com/RTLB.
If you're injured in an accident, here are the things that matter. Who you hire to represent you matters.
Where they live may seem like it doesn't matter, it matters.
The Richard Harris Law Firm employs over 150 local people.
Trabajamos aquí.
We live right here. We know Nevada. We know the courts. And we know how to win.
If you're injured in an accident, who you hire to represent you matters. The Richard Harris Law Firm, 222-2222.
Go on. Get a little out there. Into the big heart of Nevada. 60 million acres of wide open public land for night monsters like you to explore. From sagebrush saloons to ghost towns, epic adventures are in store. Experience Nevada away from the neon lights. Take a dip in a natural hot spring where the temperature is just right. And gaze up at the darkest skies in star-studded delight. Explore the Silver State and plan your trip today at travelnevada.com. That's travelnevada.com.
At GEHA, we stand behind our members because we were founded by members. We're not focused on Wall Street. We're focused on Main Street. So we've built dental plans with 100% coverage for in-network preventive care, with access to a nationwide network of nearly 600,000 provider locations. GEHA is proud to offer dental plans exclusively for federal employees, federal retirees, and military retirees. Visit GEHA.com to learn more.
Welcome back to our intermission interview. We're joined alongside Night Monsters assistant captain Anthony Collins. And Anthony, after that road trip to Tulsa last weekend on Sunday, despite the 3-2 loss, you got your first goal of the season, and it was a beauty off a one-time pass from Blake Wells. How did it feel to get on the score sheet after, like you said in our Bally's pregame show, being snake-bitten a couple times in the Rapid City series?
Yeah, it was a really big relief. Like I said, and like you said, I've kind of been snake bitten. I've hit a couple crossbars now, a couple going back to when we were in Rapid City, shooting it through the goalie, landing on the goal line, a couple that had just kind of not got across that finish line for me. So that was great to get one. Obviously, like I said, it's not my number priority job to score goals, but anytime I can help the fellas up and add a little offense here or there, obviously glad to do it.
The Wichita Thunder are the opponent for this 3-game set, and you guys built a little bit of a rivalry towards the end of the season last year. They got you for the final 3 games of the regular season to give themselves home ice advantage, but you got them right back in that playoff series. You got them in a 4-0 sweep. What's the extra motivation? Is there any extra motivation? Is there any extra juice in the locker room?
For sure. I think, with the way things are going right now, we want to turn it around tonight and get back in the win column. And obviously, in their side of the room, I'm sure that they're not too thrilled last year that we swept them 4-0 in the playoffs and ended their season. So we got to be ready because we know that they're going to come, and, we need to be at our game. When we're at our game, no one can beat us. We feel like we're one of the top teams in the league when we play the right way, and that's what we're going to plan to do tonight.
Speaking of sort of the stretch here in December, we saw in October and November you guys were pretty constant standards at the top of the Mountain Division. Hasn't quite started off that way in the month of December. What are you guys looking for to switch momentum? You've still got 6 games to turn it around and not much ground to make up.
For sure. In a 72-game season, there's going to be highs and lows, and I think like right now, obviously we're in our lows, as you would say, you call it. And I think shots and plays that maybe we're dropping last month aren't going our way right now. I said, but the only way that we're going to get out of it is just hard work. We're going to hit the nail on the head and be ready to go and start with this game tonight.
Being one of the well-respected veterans in this league, we saw over the weekend up in the Northeast and Adirondack that Justin Taylor passed Michael Pellick for the all-time ECHL games played record. Have you ever had a chance to line up on the same team with Justin or play against Justin? And what you know about his character say about his commitment to the game and the consistency with which he's played it throughout his career?
Absolutely. Yeah, I played with him for 2 years in Kalamazoo, so phenomenal guy, loves the game, unbelievable passion for the game, and obviously that's a testament to his games played record. I just don't know if anyone will ever beat that going forward, but absolutely great teammate, great player. Wish him nothing but the best, obviously, because we don't see him this year. So I wish Tails all the best out in Adirondack this year, and keep on trucking.
Final question, we asked it to you on our Bally's pregame show, but just for the fans who weren't in the building, with it being country night here on this Wednesday, you told me you were a guy who listens to a lot of country music. Who are some of those top artists on your playlist?
Yeah, I like Zach Top right now. I like some of the retros like Jake Owen, Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan, some of the old guys like that that I grew up on. But definitely, I'm a big country guy, so let's have fun country night tonight.
That was Assistant Captain Anthony Collins joining us with our intermission report. Continued action of this Wednesday night clash continues after this.
From across America's premier AA hockey league, this is the ECHL Plays of the Week.
High slap shot, off the glove, and in! Now for the net, he scores! Out to the blue line, shot, score! Rodney scores! It's rewrite the record book!
It's a hat trick, skates into the line, Deke shoots, and the slot, shot, save, game is over!
Hockey fans, welcome back to another edition of ECHL Plays of the Week. I'm Casey Ditzel, your voice of the Greensboro Gargoyles. Savannah's power play was clicking on Friday evening against the Jacksonville Icemen, and it started with forward Ryan Sullivan.
Right side, takes another return feed. Eamon Powell looking for a chance, doesn't have one. To the bumper position, Sullivan scores! Ryan Sullivan gets on the board first. Good tap passing. Sullivan 1 times at home. Savannah takes a 1-0 lead.
The Ghost Pirates would go on to beat the Icemen 3-2. That was Isaac Basinger on the Savannah Ghost Pirates broadcast network. Isaac Walters scored 4 goals and 1 assist in Atlanta's 3-game slate in Utah, as Gladiators took 2 out of 3 matchups versus the Grizzlies on the road.
Isaac Walter surges up ice. Walter fires and scores! Isaac Walter's done it again! Goals in 3 straight games. And Atlanta has a 1-0 lead.
That call was from Guy Carenza on the Atlanta Gladiators Broadcast Network. The Heartlanders picked up a Wednesday OT win against the Kansas City Mavericks, thanks to a career-high performance from forward Elliot Denoyer.
Randall forced to change. 1 minute to go in OT. Denoyer shoots. He scores. It's a 5-point night for Denoyer. 2 plus 3. And Iowa wins 5-4. With a minute to go in overtime.
What an absolute rush by Denoyer, and holy cow, if he had another monkey to throw off his back, he'd throw it right there. A 5-point night, like you said, David. He comes up the right side, absolutely flying, undresses his man, goes right under the stick and flicks it home right to the 5-hole of LaFontaine. Of course,
Right after he put in the OT winner, Denoyer earned his 2nd recall of the season to the Iowa Wild. David Fine and Sam Kaser on the call in the Heartland. Last Sunday, the Tahoe Night Monsters traveled to the BOK Center in Tulsa for their final game of the season against the Tulsa Oilers. After splitting the first 2 of 3 games this series, the Night Monsters got on the board first in the rubber match, thanks to their enforcer, the king of the coast, Anthony Collins, who put in his versatility on full display.
Kapchek will play it D to D. Up for Blake Wells. Connor Merritt trips over the blue line just a moment after he's back in the lineup due to the absence of Swick. Blake Wells intercepts. Far side, one-time shot. Scores! And look at that. He can do it all. Throwing some fists and now scoring a goal. It's Anthony Collins. And it's 1-0 Tahoe.
That was Collins' first goal of the season. In his 634-game ECHL career, Collins now has 38 goals and 101 points. Tahoe would end coming up short in that game 3-2 and is back home this week to take on the Wichita Thunder. That was Brennan Paul on the call for the Night Monsters Broadcast Network. The Florida Everblades have reeled off 7 consecutive wins and points in 11 straight games after earning a pair of overtime wins over Orlando last week. On Saturday, Everblades defenseman Gianfranco Casero scored his 2nd overtime goal of the season in Florida's 1-0 victory.
Casero passes on that left wing side. Everblades control it. Casero scores! An overtime game winner! Tuck that one under the Christmas tree. The Everblades with another win.
That was Mike Kelly with the call on the Florida Everblades Broadcast Network. The Orlando Solar Bears took 2 of a possible 6 points this week as the Solar Bears completed 6 road games in 9 days. On Friday night, the Solar Bears became the last team in the ECHL to appear in an overtime game, thanks to a third-period game-tying goal from Spencer Kirsten.
Side for Newkirk. Needham still without a stick. Logan Brent with it. Got it across. Kirsten holds. Shoots. Scores! Kirsten ties it up on a power play goal at 5:31 of the third. It's 2-2.
Kirsten's goal and assist output was his 9th multi-point game of the season. That was Joey Bottino on the Orlando Solar Bears Hockey Network. The Adirondack Thunder took down the league-leading Wheeling Nailers on Saturday night in Glens Falls. The banged-up Thunder needed help and called in Shane Harper, who was managing storage units and had not played a game in over a year. Well, he ended up scoring the game-winning goal.
Great hockey against the best team in the ECHL right now. Tough one last night. Now Harper, breakaway. He's in. He scores! From storage unit owner to goal scorer, it's Shane Harper and a 2-1 lead, and the roof just came off Harper.
was Rob Lapolis on Hits 95.9 and the Thunder Broadcast Network. Wichita hosted Idaho this past weekend in the first meeting of the season between the two teams. The Thunder trailed early in the third period, but forced overtime just 2:30 into the frame. In the extra period, Wichita had a carryover power play and took advantage, winning the game on a goal from Kyle Krinkovic. Here's the goal call from Jason Males on the Wichita Radio Network.
It's a 4-on-3 here, 6:10 to go in overtime. Minute remaining on the power play. Krinkovic over to Dickman at the far face-off dot. And now they'll weave at the top of the blue line. Here's Dickman, has some room. Dickman, far circle, Krinkovic, he scores! Overtime winner, Kyle Krinkovic! Thunder take it 3-2 on a power play goal here in the extra session.
Krinkovic has been on a tear as of late, recording at least 2 points in 6 of his last 8 games. The Greensboro Gargoyles traveled for a 1-game weekend slate to Greenville against the Swamp Rabbits on their teddy bear toss night. Artie Borshov was in the box and stepped out to find a pass from Kenny Johnson, who picked up his first point as a Gargoyle. Borshov on the breakaway netted his second point in 2 consecutive weekends after picking up his first career goal the week before.
Iro blew a tire, though, and numbers coming. Dante Sheriff drops off his shot. Big save by Ajayev and cleared out for a rush. Out of the box is Borshov. He's got a breakaway. Scores! Artie Borshov, who had his first career goal last weekend in Wheeling, kicks off the scoring and hushes the crowd.
That was my call on WCOG in the Carolina Hurricanes app. The Gargoyles return home now for an 8-game homestand after being on the road for the last 3 weeks. That does it for this edition of the ECHL Plays of the Week. I'm Casey Ditzel, the voice of the Greensboro Gargoyles, hoping that you have an excellent holidays. And thank you for tuning in. Back to your game now.
Back here inside Tahoe Blue Event Center, the Night Monsters got a goal at the end of the second period. They trail 4-1 against the Wichita Thunder. They're hoping for a big, explosive third here to bring down the house on this Wednesday night. Good evening and welcome back inside the broadcast booth. Brendan Paul, your voice of the Night Monsters, taking you through this one. And it has been a heck of a game for the Wichita Thunder, especially from guys that really haven't scored a whole lot of goals this season. Jake Wallen and Matt Krasa in the first, each with their second of the year. Then it was Kirby Proctor, the defenseman, scoring goal number 4. And then short-handed, it was Donovan Houle, who put his 8th goal of the season in the back of the net. And that's how we've arrived at 4-1. And for the Night Monsters, it was Jake Derflinger, his second of the year, assisted by Pitters and Alger, with 3 minutes and 9 seconds left in the frame. Shots are 30-23 in favor of Tahoe. They're looking to add a couple more goals to the scoreboard this go-around. We'll update you one final time on the ECHL scoreboard. The Reading Royals, 2-1 OT winners over the Adirondack Thunder. The Jacksonville Icemen defeat the Orlando Solar Bears in a shootout 3-2. The Savannah Ghost Pirates beat the Greensboro Gargoyles on the road 3-2. The Worcester Railers, a big win at home against the Norfolk Admirals 6-2. That Norfolk team still holding steady at the bottom of the ECHL standings. The Greenville Swamp Rabbits in overtime take care of the Cincinnati Cyclones 4-3. The Indy Fuel beat the Iowa Heartlanders 4-2 on the road. The Fort Wayne Comets win over the Bloomington Bison 4-3. The Allen Americans beat the Tulsa Oilers 5-2 on home ice, and a blowout in the Mountain Division. The Idaho Steelheads put a 7 spot on the board as they beat the Rapid City Rush 7-1. Well, we are ready for third period action as Night Monsters once again skate from left to right. Wichita from right to left. Night Monsters shorthanded for 24 more seconds to start this third period. Gustafson, Kapchek, Stanek, and Cholach are the four out there for the boys in white and teal. As the faceoff is won by Peter Bates, he plays it ahead to himself to get the third period underway. In the near side corner, digging away at it, Kapchek alongside Jack Barr. Cholach is the one who comes away with it, though, and plays it up ahead to Gustafson. Gustafson working in, drops for Stanek, tried to shimmy around one, but couldn't do so. Tahoe quickly back to full strength, so they kill off the PK. Krinkovic gets it ahead to Dickman. He lost it. It escapes the zone, and it's ahead for Poliani. Devin Poliani trying to go 1-on-2, but Nolan Neen bats that one out of the air with his glove, and it'll be back out into neutral ice. Alger D-to-D for Callan. Back to Alger. Lyndon Alger gains the red, sends it to Callan, who enters the zone. Casey Bailey, sharp angle backhand shot just over the bar, as Alger will retreat back into his own part of the ice. Luke Adam was intercepted, and Wichita will just fire it back behind the net. O'Leary trying to exit the cusp of the defensive zone as this one's chipped in by Bailey. Davis wheeling it to the near side for Neen. He'll play it up on a backhand to Finnegan. Back in the zone for Stenell, right down Broadway. Hool shot, and that one loose. Whitehead didn't know where it was for a minute, but he ended up getting it right in the breadbasket. .25 left in our final frame. Fans here in Tahoe still enjoying a nice Wednesday night of hockey despite their side being down 4-1. Wichita wins the draw to the right point. Now to the left, Somerville shot on that one high over the glove of Whitehead. As we get a whistle, it was played with a high stick, it appears. So we'll do it again. This one is right in front of the Tahoe bench. Finnegan against Pitters. We touched on it again. Finnegan, a native of Tecumseh, Kansas. You don't often see a lot of Kansas-born players making it to the pro ranks. But Finnegan has defied the odds. Merritt chips it ahead to Pitters. Pitters trying to work against Gormley. He's taken down on his pockets, and now he'll finally get back up as Wichita works it out. Far enough for an icing. Mikkel Stenell tried to sneak off the ice to avoid having to stay out there in the case of an icing, but couldn't do so. .52 left. Again, a 4-1 score in favor of Wichita. They scored the first four. Jake Derflinger has the latest tally late in the second period. Poliani couldn't quite win that one as Stanek will try and hack away at it, gets it back on his stick. Gustafson twirling, shoots one on Davis, initial save, rebound, scores! Jordan Gustafson stuck with the play, and just like that, it's two in a row for Tahoe, and things are starting to get interesting. A lot of time left, and only a 2-goal hole. Davis got the initial one on the turnaround between the legs chance from Jordan Gustafson, but old Jordan stuck with the play buried one top shelf. Tahoe responding quickly by winning the draw. Stanek re-entering the zone. He trips up at the line. Cholach does a nice job to keep it before it's worked out by Jeffers. Cholach banking it ahead to Stanek, who plays it up for Poliani just a little too far. Will exit the zone. Gustafson gets the goal, his second of the year. Assisted by Sloan Stanek. He continues to be on a tear in the points column. And Devin Poliani gets the secondary assist as well. Those are two guys that have really been racking up points in games as of late. This one dumped in. Davis will leave it for Proctor. A 4-2 hockey game. Proctor goes near side to far, plays it up for Krasa, who tips it in. T and Rask couldn't quite get on it. One chipped way down the length of the ice. It'll go for an icing with 16:30 left in the hockey game. Face off to the left of Cameron Whitehead, who stopped 20 of 24 Wichita shots. Davis 30 of 32 for the Night Monsters. That one goes out of play, heads up in the scores table area. That one got right in there with Tyler Kirby, our PA announcer, and the crew in there, and didn't hit anything going out of play. So Maya is going to go to the box for 2 minutes, and that more likely than not will be for delay of game. So Wichita back to the power play. They're 0 for 1 here tonight, but they'll get another crack at it. Maye has committed every penalty actually for Tahoe. He got in the fighting major, had the tripping penalty late in the second, and now he's back in there for DOG, delay of game. 16:24 left, so Night Monsters will be looking to kill this one off. One smacked all the way down. Davis in front of the goal line to play it on the far right side. Krinkovic will get this one on the motion. Crossing through the red line, working into the zone for Dickman. Tried to give it right back to Krinkovic, but couldn't find him. Pitters suits that one forward, but too far for O'Leary, so he'll just go off for a change. So Richard Harris Law Firm penalty kill for the Night Monsters as Beck plays this one into the zone. Tried to cut around two, but couldn't. That one back chipped by Stanek just outside of the Wichita attacking third. Bates sends it across for Dickman. Up top for Beck. Across for Stenell, who trots in and now taken away. Gustafson plays it ahead for Stanek. Back to Jordan Gustafson. Gustafson tried to touch it back for Stanek, but the motion just was not there. Stenell across, Krinkovic in the slot shot, save made by Whitehead. Cameron Whitehead doing a nice job tonight, despite what it may appear stats-wise. Beck, cross ice for Stenell, who gets it up to Krinkovic. Back for Stenell, in the slot shot, they score. That's tic-tac money, and it's the captain, Peter Bates, who is the recipient of that beautiful feed. Right in his workplace, and Wichita back up 3. It's 5-2. Peter Bates is going to get goal number 8 on the year, so he's contributing on that top line very nicely Assists, it looks like Krinkovic and Dickman, so all three of the top forwards get some action on that one. We'll check the official score here in a moment. Jeffers on the half wall, works it back in. Cross ice, finds Neen. Shot on Whitehead, makes the save. Well, they said the goal goes to Mikkel Stenell. Not too sure about that one. I thought it was Bates in the slot there. They have Bates from Krinkovic and Dickman. He was the first one through the handshake line, but nonetheless, a big collision in open ice, and now a chance for Neen. He shoots one upstairs, and it goes into the netting. Face off to the left of Whitehead. Night Monsters hoping to get one back here quickly. They cut it to 2. And then quickly it's back up to 3 thanks to the power play goal from Peter Bates. Both centermen getting a little too antsy on the draw, so we'll have to hold up. It's Kyle Jeffers for Wichita and Poliani for the Night Monsters. Poliani wins it cleanly back to Cholach. Across for Anthony Collins. Drops one to Kapchek. Finds Blake Wells. Kapchek on the near half wall. Finds Collins, who will wrap it back around, but it's intercepted by Nolan Neen. Jeffers plays it up. Looking for a bank pass. Wallen wasn't there, though. That was his intended target. As this one's back in behind. Proctor. Backhand shovels one up. Poliani sticks it down. Neen will go cross ice and just send that one all the way down. It'll go for an icing. Crowd in a little bit of disbelief here with their squad down by 3. Looking to turn the page of what was a rough first 6 games. They were swept last time on home ice by Rapid City. They lost 2 of 3 in Tulsa. As Maye blocks it down at the right point, shot high. Blocker saved by Davis. LeBlanc shovels that one back in. Merritt pins Neen against the boards. Now Spencer Blackwell will work it through as Pitters chases it in deep. Adam Pitters gains the blue line, works in with speed, shot that one wide against Davis. Had a pretty good angle on it. A shot on the far side from Finnegan goes behind the net. And it popcorns right over to where Finnegan had just gotten up from taking a tumble. Now working around, Connor Merritt. That one sent wide. Following up is Callan, sending one in front to Derflinger. That one deflected by a member of the Thunder. And it'll go all the way back down. Back in the zone, Stanek slows up, shot on, save Davis. That one caromed loose. Gustafson crunched behind the boards as Houle drops it back for Somerville. That one blocked all the way back around. Alger up to Gustafson. Tried to get it to Stanek but couldn't do so. Now muscling ahead. Here comes Krasa in front. That one loose on the doorstep. And the play's blown dead with 12:04 left. And with that, we'll take our first TV timeout of the third period. It's a 3-goal Wichita lead here on Mixlr and FloHockey.tv.
Fans, Lake Tahoe South Shore isn't just a destination. It's a jaw-dropping, mind-blowing, awe-inducing experience. It leaves you happier, less stressed, and more connected to the world around you. This place is all sorts of awe and then some. And with the rules to Lake by, you can help keep it that way. Just 5 simple rules to help keep Tahoe beautiful, clean, and safe for generations to come. It's connecting with nature and protecting it at the same time. Learn how you can help it. Visit laketahoe.com/RTLB. That's visitlaketahoe.com/RTLB.
Back here after the TV timeout. It is 5-2 Wichita. We thank you for spending part of your Wednesday night with us here as the Night Monsters are trying to claw back into this one down by a trio. Face-off won by Tahoe. As they'll dump it ahead, it's collected by Noah Beck. Gets it back over for T and Rask. As this one is loose in the corner, Krasa plays it into the far cross corner. Cholach tried to find O'Leary, does so. He avoids the hit and now is guided softly into the boards by Rask. Cholach avoids a big hit in open ice. Up ahead, kept in by Luke Adam. Here's Neen. Plays it up for Krasa. Bailey keeps the zone nicely. O'Leary and Proctor in a foot race. It is Kirby Proctor who's the first one there. As Nolan Neen works it back in deep. Bailey drops for Maye, who finds LeBlanc. Back up, looking for Derflinger, but too far. Behind the net, Neen will settle, the assistant captain for the Thunder. And crowd weighing in on what they think of Neen waiting behind the net as boos rain down. That one is sent all the way out of play, and it'll actually find its way into the far side railing in section 101. For those of you watching on FloHockey TV, we are pleased to inform you that we've gotten the scorebug graphic back and in working order. We are happy to have it here on this Wednesday night. As Wichita wins the draw, Somerville D-to-D for Gormley. Wichita will just wrap it behind the net. Whitehead plays it for Maye. Up ahead for Merritt. He'll chip one against the boards. It goes over the boards as that one will go out of play. But it won't be a penalty because, as the officials indicated by smacking on the glass, it did indeed hit off the glass. So it'll be another O-zone draw for the Thunder. Bates wins it cleanly, the most recent goal scorer. Lost it, and now here come the Night Monsters. Gustafson turns it over. Peter Bates back the other way. Dickman drops for Krinkovic. That one intercepted Gustafson. Now Stanek on the near side. Stanek works in, shoots one through traffic, blocked in front. Follow-up chance is behind the net. It just missed. Peter Bates will loft one right on that Night Monsters logo. Alger trying to chip it ahead to Stanek. And they'll have to wait and tag up Poliani and Stanek because they were both offsides. Now Barr. Skating in their own zone. Tried to play it up ahead. Collins got a piece of it. That one's all the way down on Whitehead, and they'll have to cover it up for a whistle. And with that, we'll take you to our second TV timeout of the period. You're listening to Night Monsters Hockey on Mixler and watching live on FloHockey.tv.
Innovation, performance, dedication. For nearly 80 years, Thermal Technology has been the leader in high-temperature furnaces and hot press sintering systems built right here in the USA. Our cutting-edge DCS and hot press technology powers industries from semiconductors to aerospace, medical, and top research labs. We're proud to be the only U.S. OEM for SPS and DCS systems, delivering unmatched precision and providing support for up to 20 years, twice the industry standard. Built with precision, engineered for excellence, Thermal Technology, the high-temperature experts.
Night Monsters fans, be sure to remember if you're in the building tonight at Tahoe Blue, there will be Paint the Ice after the game where all Night Monsters fans are welcome to come down on the ice and paint on the surface that will be used Friday and Saturday. And remember, that's Grateful Dead weekend. Team will be wearing specialty jerseys that will be auctioned off at the concluding of Saturday's contest. For tickets, go to nightmonstershockey.com. Anthony Collins on the far side half wall, looking for back-to-back games with a goal. Gets it over to Pitters on the near side faceoff circle. Lost it as Jake Wallen causing a nuisance in front of the Wichita bench. That one caroms off a stanchion. Davis was ready to wrap it back around, but instead it works its way all the way down for another icing. It'll be Bailey, O'Leary, and Adam out there as the forwards, along with Maillet and LeBlanc. On the other side, it'll be Blackwell, Wallen, Jeffers, Beck, and Barr. Face-off one back to Maillet. Shot on. That one deflected in front by Wallen. He's taken down and on his outstretched grasp tries to play it ahead. That one slung wide by Bailey. Gets it over to LeBlanc. O'Leary pinned up by Noah Beck. O'Leary looking for a call as he thought he was held. And that one's going to be sent down. We're going to get another icing here. So just copy-paste another offensive zone draw for the Night Monsters. O'Leary and Wallen battle again. O'Leary wins cleanly. Finds Callan, who works in, sharp angle on the far side. Tried to center it out in front, but it's intercepted by Blackwell. He'll try and play it on the backhand across for Barr, but it's taken away. O'Leary gets it in the jumbled up mess there. Bailey leaves for Alger. He'll cut in, tried to shoot one on. He lost his stick. In fact, it snapped in half. And he'll have to go to the bench. Advantage Thunder for the time being. He'll just go off for a change instead as Kapchek comes on to take his place. O'Leary hauled down by Stenell. Up ahead and a delayed offsides entering the zone is Merritt, Bailey, and Cholach are all over there. Bailey with the puck, couldn't quite get it back over. .747 remains in this hockey game. It's 5-2 in favor of the Wichita Thunder. Cholach, D to D for Kapchek, plays it up ahead for Pitters. He'll bank it off the sideboards. Davis thought about playing it, but thinks better, and now Hool trying to exit the zone. He does just enough to get it out to where Tahoe can't recollect. Banking this one all the way back down. Davis called for an icing, didn't get it. Hool back in his own zone. Pitters has it. He'll drop it back for LeBlanc. D to D for Maye. He'll backhand it up across. Pitters enters the zone with a little bit of room against Nolan Neen. He shoots one top bar. Crowd thought it went in. And they shoot off the goal lights. It kind of looked like it did go in. Well, let's see where Matt Davis fishes this one out of. Still a conversation. And it was underneath the net. So no goal. That's a similar angle to the one we saw Kirby Proctor score for Wichita back in the second. Again. But that one's denied. Crowd shoveling in a couple of boos. Face-off won by Tahoe. Stanek gets it up to Maye at the point. Drops it beneath the goal line for Poliani. He's sandwiched up against the boards by Gormley. Stanek tried to finesse his way through a couple of bodies, but he turns it over. Sloan Stanek starting to get a little frustrated out there. After, to use the Anthony Collins term, he's been snake bit a couple of times. Taking it the other way of the Night Monsters, moving left to right. Final 6.5 of this hockey game. So for the Thunder, it's been Wallen, Krasa, Proctor, Hool, and the captain, Peter Bates, on the power play. As this one's sent in, wrapped around the boards. Beck is the first one there. He'll play it back for Barr. Barr up for Dickman. For the Night Monsters, it's been Derflinger and Gustafson. Gustafson's about a point a game guy, all on assists and a goal on school day in his pro debut, but now he's got a second. Bates goes far side to Dickman. Dickman towering in at 6'6", 205. He'll just kind of lollygag that one through the zone with not much sense of urgency as Alger gains the red. Works it back up, but O'Leary trips over the blue line, and he is offsides with 5:40 to go. Unfortunately, that's been the kind of night it has been for the Night Monsters. We'll take our final TV timeout of regulation. 5-2 Wichita here with just under 6 to play.
If you're injured in an accident, here are the things that matter. Who you hire to represent you matters.
Where they live may seem like it doesn't matter, it matters.
The Richard Harris Law Firm employs over 150 local people.
Trabajamos aquí. We live right here. We know Nevada. We know the courts. And we know how to win.
If you're injured in an accident, who you hire to represent you matters. The Richard Harris Law Firm, 222-2222.
Welcome back for Hump Day Hockey here on this Wednesday, Country Night. The Wichita Thunder have wrangled together 5 goals as they look to go for a half dozen. Night Monsters just trying to claw back in. This is still a range in which we've seen Tahoe rattle off 3 goals. They scored 3 in about 2.5 minutes on opening weekend. Chipping it back around, Kapchek keeps the zone. Derflinger battling against Proctor. It works its way to Pitters. Pitters tied up. Blackwell takes it away for Wichita. Taken down is Jeffers from behind. There won't be a call, so action continues. Kapchek intercepted by Wallen. That one is banked all the way on the far side into the Wichita attacking third. Merritt skies that one. That one goes straight up into the net. So we'll get another whistle with 5 minutes and 2 seconds left in the period. Face-off at center ice is won by Tahoe. They get it over to Poliani. He'll chip it in deep. Beneath the goal line, Kirby Proctor surveys his options. Sachets around Poliani, who works it over D-to-D for Neen. Now Stenell up for Houle. Houle dangling in. Maye doing a nice job to hold the line. That pass was banked too far ahead, so back in is Stenell. Dangling around one, dropping for Houle. Over to Somerville. Wrist shot on, deflected in front. A headlock is laid by LeBlanc against Finnegan. That one was deflected, so it nullifies an icing. Kept into the zone by Alger. Wrist shot on, trying to get a tip in front was Poliani, but he couldn't do so. Far side Stanek trying to muscle one of the referees out of the way. And now he's taken down. Back up to the left point, Alger looking for a receiver, finds Stanek. Trying to muscle his way around Gormley. They're tied up. Poliani comes in. He's taken down by a trip. And we'll get a whistle. Tahoe back to the power play. .349 to go, and for the third time tonight, we'll see the Tahoe man advantage at work. They've really been kind of cold as of late, highlighted most recently by their 0 spot in the final 5 minutes of the game on Sunday in Tulsa, where they had nearly 4 minutes of a 5-on-3 and could not get one past Vyacheslav Butyets. They're hoping to get one here and just give the unit a little advantage, and that's what Alex Lowe is going to try and do. He's going to call timeout. So the Night Monsters will all convene over at the whiteboard, and Coach Lowe knows how important it is, maybe not just short-term in tonight, but you got to think long-term as well. That if Tahoe wants to continue to play with the success they've had in this early part of the season, they're going to have to find a way to get that power play back working. Heavy shot night for both sides. Tahoe with 37, Wichita with 30. And we talk about it quite a bit, but not often do the Night Monsters outshoot their opponent. In fact, they've only done it in 6 of their previous 26 games this season. They are 3-3 when they outshoot their opponent. They're 11-9 when getting outshot. So here comes the power play. Derflinger, Merritt, O'Leary. On the far side, Maye, and they're going to pull Whitehead, so it's actually going to be a 6-on-4 with Adam and Callan manning the points. This is a spot where you could try and cash in. It's up to the left point for Callan. D-to-D for Adam. Sending it in front. O'Leary on the doorstep. Couldn't get it past Davis. Another penalty, and that time it's going to go against Tahoe, as hauled down is Nolan Nain. And so the power play lasts all of about 13 seconds or so, and Mike O'Leary's off to the box for a trip. It was John Gormley for the Thunder, who went to the box for the initial trip, and now Whitehead's back in between the pipes. O'Leary's in the box for a tripping call of his own, and it's back to 4-on-4 with the face-off down in the Tahoe defensive zone. So we'll play 4-on-4 for 1:47. Face-off won by Tahoe. Stanek will slowly retreat back, working against Peter Bates. And he'll just backhand one softly to Cholach. Here comes Stanek. Stanek showing off the speed, dangling through one, can't get around Proctor. He lost his stick and was hammered into the boards. That one's lofted all the way down on target to avoid the icing. Cholach will reload. Finds Gustafson. Couple of nice moves, works around Finnegan, but can't get around Neen in deep as he just walled him to his knees. Here comes Houle. Houle cutting in, a shot on a sharp angle, and Whitehead is tall to the task. .251 left in the hockey game. A minute left of 4-on-4. And then it'll be 13 seconds of a power play for Wichita. So Tahoe's officially going to move to 0 for 3 on the power play. And unless Wichita can score in the final 13 seconds of theirs, they'll finish 1 for 4. Retreating is Maye. Now he works into neutral ice across the red line. Gets it to Callan. Up ahead, that one banked down off the stick of Ryan Finnegan. Callan drops that one back for Maye, but he lost it to Barr. And now in on a break, here's Finnegan dropping one in front for Houle, and that one shimmies wide on the goal line. Houle cutting through, can't quite get all the way on target to Cameron Whitehead. Casey Bailey's going to go off for a change. Adam Pitters will take his spot. Callan sends it to Pitters, who quickly enters the zone on the far side. Sends one on a short angle. That one is all the way out of the zone. So Gormley's out of the box now, as it's 5-on-4 for Wichita for about 10 more seconds. Cutting in is Pitters. That one's in the back of the net. They score! Adam Pitters denied moments ago, not to be denied then. That one will count, and it's a 2-goal game, and Tahoe's got a shorty of their own. Well, now it's just a 2-goal deficit as Adam Pitters is on the board after being denied earlier in the period. That'll be the 4th goal of the year for Adam Pitters as Tahoe plays this one back in, trying to move quickly. Nick Needard up on the bench for Tahoe, waiting to give the instructions to Cameron Whitehead on when to come out of the net. O'Leary drops for Stanek, and now Whitehead comes out of the crease. 1:20 left. That one exits the zone. Luke Adam did a nice job to try and keep it in, but just couldn't quite do it. So it's Pitters unassisted for goal number 4. And it'll be a draw just outside of the Wichita defensive end. Peter Bates will just slide it ahead and drop it all the way down. Stanek wanted an icing, he won't get one, so it's 6-on-5 for the Night Monsters, down a pair. Sending this one in, that one somehow caromed off the net. We'll get a whistle with 62 seconds left. So this one will exit the zone. We'll go right in front of the Wichita bench on the far side this time. Night Monsters looking to get one more home. Bailey camping out near side red line away from the draw. Him, Adam, and Stanek on the back line. Gustafson, O'Leary, and Maye on the front line. Check that Poliani. It's 6 forwards out there, so I think you can guess what the focus is for the Night Monsters. This one banked all the way back down with 50 seconds. Casey Bailey, drop pass for Adam. He'll try and bank it up ahead. He'll work it in deep. Neen is the first one there, far side. Jay Dickman will just loft one on, and he whiffed on the shot. Bailey drops for O'Leary. Trying to send one in. Bailey has it. Backhand shot. That one pops into the air. Poliani digging away with 25 seconds. Dickman, again, his exit pass blocked. This time Bates has a lane, chips it ahead. It's a foot race. Krinkovic and O'Leary. Krinkovic ties it up, and that one's going to squeak its way through anyway. What an effort play. Wouldn't be shocked if Krinkovic got the tally on that one. Nonetheless, it's 6-3. And this crowd at Tahoe Blue with just under 15 seconds left in a 6-3 game are heading for the exits. And look at this. We're going to get a goaltending change for Wichita. Roddy Ross is into the game. Not entirely sure what's going on here. I guess they just maybe want to get Davis a rest, or maybe Roddy Ross has a shutout streak that they want to continue with 14 seconds left. 4 seconds left. Kapchak will just loft that one into the air. Collins is looking for a dance partner, and no one on the Wichita team will fight him. The clock stops with 2.2, and they'll just roll it off. That'll be the end of the game. And the Wichita Thunder, with Roddy Ross finishing the last 15 seconds, are going to escape Tahoe with a win in the opening game of this 3-game set. They beat the Night Monsters 6-3. Krinkovic, 10th of the year on the empty netter, assisted by Jay Dickman. So that's how the game finishes. Night Monsters fall in this one 6-3. They drop to 14-11-1-1. They stay in third place in the Mountain Division. Wichita improves to 11-9-2-2. But now the Night Monsters are 1-5-0-1 in the month of December. And they've really got to turn that one around to go into 2026 with some momentum. Final score here from Tahoe Blue Event Center. Night Monsters fall to the Wichita Thunder 6-3. We'll hit a commercial break, and we'll wrap this one up for the final time tonight. You're listening to Night Monsters Hockey on Mixlr and watching live on FloHockey.tv.
Innovation, performance, dedication. For nearly 80 years, Thermal Technology has been the leader in high-temperature furnaces and hot press sintering systems built right here in the USA. Our cutting-edge DCS and hot press technology powers industries from semiconductors to aerospace, medical, and top research labs. We're proud to be the only U.S. OEM for SPS and DCS systems, delivering unmatched precision and providing support for up to 20 years, twice the industry standard. Built with precision, engineered for excellence, Thermal Technology